Alright, there's already 100 of you in here. Let's just get this show on the road, shall we? Goodbye, music. Hello. What's up? Let's just get this started. Let's just start talking. Let's go. 3 minutes early start. Y'all are spoiled. Y'all are so spoiled. What's up? Who's weaving? Hermes, Daryl, Olive, Eventide, Nathan, Bob, Mads. Oh, what's up, y'all? I hope everyone's having a good one. It's been, It's a go back to the tavern music. I can put it on repeat in the background, like real quiet. I can just give us like a little bit of that, just so that it's just there, you know, just barely there. That should do. That'll do. Give us a nice little just vibe to hang out to. Finally, a stream that's not while you're at work. Let's go, Olive. Everyone's very opinionated about One D&D. And I'm doing everything I can to see as much as I can in a positive light. I am going to say something that a lot of people are not going to agree with. Mechanically, I think this is a step in the right direction. A lot of people are calling out D&D like, oh, they're taking things from Pathfinder. They're doing all of this because Pathfinder did. But a lot of it comes from more than Pathfinder. It would be a lie to say there was no inspiration. And I also would like to call back to probably my favorite quote of all time. My favorite quote of all time is, good artists borrow, great artists steal. There's nothing original in this world. You use what you can. But let's get people caught up to speed. What is 1D? Let's go full screen. Do I have a full screen here? Is this a full screen? That's a full screen. Does it have any computer audio? Can you even hear me like this? Let me make sure you can hear me. Yes, you should be able to hear me. And then audio output capture. Because we gotta get that sick, sweet music in here. Is that it? Cool, that should do it. Alright, let me know if that sounds weird. So. Here you find, awesome. So. For those of you who are not aware, One D&D is not the next edition of Dungeons and Dragons. What it is the next evolution, generation, those are the words they like to throw around, that they've been throwing around, of D&D. Basically, what Wizards has gone on record to say is that D&D as it is right now is perfectly fine. And they are incredibly happy with where the game is. So they're not going to be changing much. They specifically say, we're not going to change the things you love. We're just giving you more. A lot of things, I've written down multiple quotes from just the 5-minute announcements video. And again, the one that I really can't stand is, we're so happy, like we're incredibly happy with where the game is now. So then why? And I'll let everyone in the class try to answer this. Why will you be selling a new player's handbook, a new Dungeon Master's Guide, and a bunch of new stuff for a system that you're already happy with how it is? Can anyone in the class tell me? 5-letter word starts with an M. Money, yeah. It's scary. Now, here's the thing. I am not going to villainize Wizards here. It's very easy to do. A lot of people do. It's honestly low-hanging fruit. What I'm going to villainize is Hasbro. I don't think... So I've been talking about this ad nauseum with people for the last 24 hours. About why this is happening. And there are two possible reasons that we've come up with between everyone I've talked to. The first one is the easy one. Money. Money and complacency. Complacency by the suits, the financial operators of Hasbro, saying, we already have the audience, we already know what we like, let's just sell it to them again. That is the marketing team, that is the finance team's idea. I do not blame the designers if this is the case. Now, the more interesting second idea that we've talked about, and I don't know which one I'd like more. Neither of them are good, unfortunately, but the other potential reasoning is fear. If the designers have had a major say on the future of D&D, and they're not just being told what to do by Hasbro, this One D&D move might be out of design fear. They fear if they change too much, if too much is not the same as 5e, they're going to lose the massive audience, the massive market they've created over the past decade with 5th edition. I could see that being on the designer's part, even if money has nothing to do with it, which is being very generous. As a designer, hell, as a creator on YouTube, I get that, you know? You know how scared and how uncomfortable I get when I make a video that's not about Pathfinder? If I make a video that's about tabletop role-playing video games, or Starfinder, or something in D&D, when I release one of those videos, I prepare for a horrible backlash, and there are so many videos I've wanted to make that got scrapped because I didn't think the algorithm would work. Out of fear. Out of fear, I made another video talking about an archetype, or a Pathfinder adventure, or just another class guide, because it's easy, it's reliable, and it's just so consistent. So I get that. If this is a move out of fear, I completely understand. With creation comes fear of change. Now, the fact that it's all backwards compatible, they're selling everything again, the changes are going to be very moderate to keep it backwards compatible, and the focus on digitizing everything and selling it again makes me think this is money. If it was strictly a design choice, they would be selling an updated rulebook at a reduced price. This would be like a $10, basically massive errata, if it was just design. With it being money, it's gonna be another $50 handbook. It's gonna be another $50 Dungeon Master's Guide. And they talked about the big, massive new virtual tabletop competitor that's integrating directly into D&D Beyond, which I've heard is, well, I guess I haven't heard, it's all theories at this point. But it's probably going to have a subscription. You're probably going to have to pay for specific things. There's rumors that even if you buy a book on D&D Beyond, you'll have to buy it again to use it in their virtual tabletop, which would be ludicrous. Again, that's a rumor. I have no idea if that's actually accurate. But yeah, so that's One D&D. I guess another thing I want to touch on that made me, I guess, uncomfortable is the right word. It didn't necessarily make me mad. It wasn't like a red flag or anything. But it's what, honestly, it is what has pissed a lot of people off. A lot of people are mad because Wizards said, we are in a position where we no longer think of D&D as an addition. This is just D&D. So, D&D 5e, it's just D&D. One D&D, it's just D&D. One D&D is not a new addition, according to Wizards. It's uncomfortable, and it sounds like a lot of marketing mumbo-jumbo. Exactly, immediate disappointment. It feels a lot like Wizards is trying to sell it again. Which I have no problem with it being backwards compatible, but call it what it is. Call it 5.5 even. Like, I don't, like, a lot of people are saying call it 6th edition already, and I actually disagree there. I don't think this is going to be 6th edition. Also, yes, smash that like button. Thank you, Jedi. I don't think it's going to be 6th edition. I think it's going to be 5.5. Especially with it being backwards compatible, the basic rules staying the same. It sounds like the basic character sheet's gonna stay the same. They're just changing some options and adding some choices, which to me is 5.5, not 6th edition. 6th edition would be totally different. So, with that being said, let's take a look at the first playtest for 1D&D, because it is already out. Now, it is only the first half of character creation that is a playtest. This is called the Character Origins series, where you pick your race and your background all before picking your class, which obviously you already do that, but now things are a lot different. There's a lot more weight put on background, a lot less weight put on race, and I'll admit, I was one of the people who was a little worried when they announced the variant rule, I think in Tasha's, where it was like, yeah, just boost whatever you want. Do whatever you want, put boosts wherever you want, as long as it's 2-in-1. I was like, okay, but the fact that now your ability boosts are related to your background, I'm cool with that. You know, sure, there's going to be people who are min-maxing. There always are. You know, people in Pathfinder do the same thing. They pick a background that gives them a boost to the stat they want. In fact, I'd wager more than 90% of people do that. But if you want to play a sailor, regardless of your class, that sailing background is gonna give you a boost to strength. But let's go page by page and let's look things down. This Origins playtest has races, backgrounds, languages, and a big one is feats. Gus, the races are still distinct. They each get unique features. I think they're calling them traits. You know, like tieflings get cantrips based on their demonic lineage. Dwarves get stone cunning. Humans get versatile kind of thing. Is the next edition going to be 2D&D? No. Okay. Before we go on, I had the best idea, and if it happens, I honestly think this would happen. This could and should happen because it would be hilarious. If Wizards goes forward and never releases a new edition, Edition, and never releases a new edition of D&D after 1D&D, what they should start doing is making expansions, and call them 1D&D First Edition, Addition, because they're adding stuff. So it should be 1D&D First Edition, 1D&D Second Edition, Third Edition, as they add more things. I think it would be hilarious. It would make things so confusing. Like, oh yeah, I play Third Edition. Wait, do you play Third Edition or Third Edition of 1D&D? I play D&D Third Edition. What do you mean? I think it would be hilarious. If they truly never do another edition, the system is going to get so bloated eventually. That's another concern, Connor. That is absolutely a concern, in that 1D&D, staying in the spirit of 5th edition, is primarily there as an easily digestible, accessible TTRPG. But if they don't do something new, like a new edition or something, in 15 years, they need to keep releasing content. They can't just release adventures, you know? How much can we get Nonat ones during the stream? Go? How much can you get me what? Money? Because I like money.
How much can we get at Nonat 1S during the stream? Go.
Thank you, Fryman. It's good to see you, boss. I would like to get much monies. But, so this is something that's very interesting. Feats. Feats are being reintegrated into D&D as a core mechanic. I know in 5e, feats were completely optional, and they could even be banned at tables. But in 1D&D, feats are returning. We don't know if it's going to be every level, every other level, or every 5 levels like it is in current D&D with your ability boosts. But I'll be interested to see. What this does give me hope for is that they're going to take a little bit of inspiration from the past. I would love to see fighters get their bonus feats again, wizards get their bonus metamagic feats again, and whatnot. I don't think it's going to be, like, obviously it's not going to be 3.5 levels of depth, but I think that's okay. For reasons we'll talk about later, I think doing a Pathfinder style list of feats available to each class would be optimal, especially because of something else they've simplified. We'll talk about it way later in the stream, but spellcasters have been heavily simplified in their spell selection. What are we reviewing, Keon? 1D&D, the new, not an edition of D&D that has been announced yesterday. But let's go ahead and get started. Determining your origin is exactly what it sounds like. You're determining what race you are, what your background is, and a language that you speak. I would love combat feats separate from non-combat feats. Exactly, I agree. I like that much. You didn't miss much? Don't worry, Don. You haven't missed anything mechanical. We've just talked about the history and my opinions on things. as well as some theories. There's a lot of stuff that, like, oh, you know, size, speed, lifespan, it's all here. But yes, mechanically speaking, the only things that affect your character from your race selection are your size, your speed, and your special traits. Lifespan, probably not gonna affect your campaign unless you actually play through like 90 years as a human. And then your background is everything now. Your background is your ability score bonuses, skill proficiencies, tool proficiency, the language you speak. Your first level feat is determined by your background, and your starting equipment. There is so much from your background, and I'm okay with this. Honestly, I'm fine with it. If you are raised as a sailor, you're going to be proficient in sailor things with ability scores that match the work of a sailor, you know? Thank you, DST, for the sub. So, yeah, when you are picking race and background, the heavy mechanical emphasis is the background with a little bit on the race. The race overall is not going to matter when it comes to, like, your class efficiency. Efficiency? I don't actually know the difference between the two terms. That's where your background's going to come in. Since everything is custom, the actual background doesn't matter much, does it? It's not custom. There's an optional rule to create a background, but your GM can absolutely overrule that and make you use a pre-made one. I don't know why you would. Why you wouldn't want to make your own. But, like, by that logic, if you can come up with anything yourself, what's the point of anything? If you start to deconstruct any entertainment medium enough, everything looks pointless. You know? Why let dice change the story if you can just tell the story you want to play? Why should I roll to say I hit the monster if I want my character to hit the monster in the story? You know, it's once you start looking at things piece by piece, it's easy to deconstruct it and give it no meaning, and that completely ruins the fun or reason to do anything. Custom is default. Okay, that's still not bad. As a GM, so here's the thing. We'll get to it more later. If custom backgrounds are the default rule, as a GM, I will require my players to rationalize the choice. If their background was that they grew up in poverty and got accepted into a church and studied there until they became, an acolyte, I'm not going to let them put +2 into strength. Like, unless they can really defend it, at which point they're going to need to expand and write more of their background to defend that point, leading to a more in-depth character, which leads to a better experience, not gonna lie. But let's look at the races. I believe someone mentioned in chat, race and background traded places. Yeah, that's exactly what happened, Tabby, and I think I'm okay with that. Like, I'm fine either way. I like the way PF2 does it. I like the way this is being set up to do. Especially with 5e being such a role-play-driven game, I think that makes more sense. So yeah, humanoid, they can be medium or small. I think most races can be medium or small. Ardlings, the new one, can be medium or small. Dragonborn are only medium. Very interesting. But we'll get farther into it. So I'll just cover the mechanical stuff. You know, if you want to read the lore stuff, this playtest is completely for free on I almost said One D&D, on D&D Beyond. Go back and read that sidebar. It explains why there's no half elf or half orc. Children of different humanoid kinds. Thanks to the magical workings of the multiverse, humanoids of different kinds sometimes have children together. For example, folk who have a human parent and an orc parent or an elf parent are particularly common. If you'd like to play the child of such a wondrous pairing, choose 2 race options. Then determine which of those race options provides your game stats. So you pick one or the other mechanically. You might choose halfling for your game traits and then... See, I'm not a fan of that. I love the idea that the mixing of bloodlines unlocks different potentials that almost create a brand new race, you know? An elf, a half-elf, has different innate magical powers than a human or an elf. I love the fact that you can be a half-anything. I'm not a fan of the fact, at least in the playtest, it doesn't reflect whatsoever in your mechanics. Like, I can say I am a half-elf, half-orc, But if mechanically I'm just using the orc traits, then aside from my roleplay, I'm just an orc with pointy ears. Yo, Blank, thank you for the 10 Canadian dollars. Appreciate it. I'll wait for the voice to text to read that out.
That's so cool.
Just putting some money towards the anti-algorithm fund. Love it when you try out new stuff like this. Keep making the awesome content that you want.
Thank you, Blake. Every now and again, I let myself have fun. I let myself make a stupid skit or talk about something I want to cover. And it's nice when it works out. It's just a little bit scary knowing that I'm at the mercy of the algorithm itself. But I really appreciate the donation toward the anti-algorithm fund. YouTube algorithm, no, I love you. We're not bad-mouthing you at all. Please keep paying my rent. Yeah, this is weird. Yeah, it's like this is basically saying, yeah, half races are only for flavor, nothing else. Hopefully that changes, honestly. I hope they add, like, I get it that it would be tough. Make it a whole supplement, you know? I am fine with it not being in core rules. If they mention in the future, they will release, like, a One D&D genealogy supplement where there's, like, 15 new playable races, and they're half elf, half dwarf, half, like, or even just, like, yeah, every race as a half. Make it a supplement, make it an Unearthed Arcana or something. Just don't leave those people out to dry, because it's gonna feel bad. It sounds like they're leaving room for an addition. Of course, it's a playtest. You know, at the end of the day, this is a playtest. We can't judge any of this at exactly face value, if that makes sense. A lot of people are, and it's really weird to see how fast people judge something for a first public draft. Things change a lot. Yo, thank you, Kurarum, for the €1. Appreciate it. And apparently Andreas Brevasser just donated $5. Why didn't it...
That's so cool.
Why didn't that pop up on my alert? Oh my word, thank you, Andreas, for the $5. I really appreciate that. Thank you. But let's talk mechanics. Humans. All humans, or I guess if you are half human, get resourceful. This. Thanks for the varied and honest content. I've just been a broke for the longest. No worries, I appreciate the euro. Thank you so much. Again, never feel pressured to donate. Even $1 is amazing. That is infinitely more than I expect out of anybody, so thank you. Yeah, Cameron, I was surprised the sidebar wasn't like, you can pick a trait or something. I don't know. It was interesting. It's an interesting choice. But this is fascinating. Inspiration is a Pathfinder 2e hero point, or it is advantage. You know, if you have inspiration, anytime you would roll a d20...
That's so cool.
D&D's nuts. Goat ham. Like and subscribe.
I like how some of my viewers don't get their donations read out because, like, their names get censored because there's, like, a swear somewhere inside their names. But Eventide can get away with D&D's nuts and not get censored. Thank you, Eventide. I appreciate it. But inspiration is apparently going to be a much bigger part of 1D&D. Rolling with advantage is going to be something you do often. And, like, so for example, anytime you nat 20 anything, an attack roll, a saving throw, a skill check, you get inspiration, which you can use to gain advantage somewhere else. I don't know how I feel about this, because a critical hit's additional damage is reward in itself. I don't know. I think it's fine on skill checks. You know, in D&D 5e, a nat 20 skill check is an automatic success, but there's nothing better about a 20 versus a 19 on a skill check. So inspiration for skill checks is fine, but in combat, if you get a critical hit, and then you can just roll with advantage on your next attack, that's insane. That's just such a snowball effect.
So cool.
Thank you. Oh, I have to... Kyasid the snail? Kyasid? Thank you so much for the $1. Appreciate it. Well, so they nerfed and buffed critical hits, if that makes sense. We'll get to that later. But yeah, humans just start every day with advantage. Humans, it sent the message after the donation. Thanks for covering this walkthrough of the playtest. Look forward to joining your Patreon at some point. Thank you, Kessid. I appreciate that so much. Oh my god. Axel Memoirs with the $2. Thank you. Oh my god, you guys are so generous today.
Quick, Nonat, I'm late to the stream. General impression good, bad?
General impression.
So cool.
General impression, it's a step in the right direction. It's not enough to be considered a whole new edition, but they seem afraid of calling it 5.5. So humans start every day with a hero point, which is wild. Now my question, I don't think they explain this here. If you nat 20 with advantage, don't you get your inspiration back? Doesn't that mean you get 2 5% chances to get your inspiration back every time you use it? It's not exactly 10% because that's not the way probability works. But yeah, so if it is possible to just chain inspiration into advantage, into advantage, into advantage, like, that's going to be insane. Yeah, fighters are going to be incredible. Yeah, okay, I know it doesn't double sneak attack. I mean, it never doubled sneak attack in 5e. But it doesn't double spells anymore. So you can't double, like, a paladin smite. I'd have to see this in gameplay. The hard part, I think it's going to speed combat up. That's one big benefit I'll give it. It's something that 5e struggles with. I think it's going to speed combat up a ton. But I'll need to see what they do with monsters. I'll jump ahead. Monsters can no longer critical hit. Here, let's jump down to that point since we're on the subject. No comment on small humans. They exist. Who cares? Yeah, that's my comment on small humans. Who cares? Like, you can play it. Cool. That's a representation. Some people want to. Neat. Where is it? Critical hits. Weapons and unarmed strikes have a special feature for player characters. Critical hits. That sentence is so important. You do not crit on spells. Monsters, not even NPCs, can crit. Only player characters' attacks can crit. If you roll a 20 with a weapon or an unarmed strike, the attack is a critical hit, which means it deals extra damage. You roll the dice twice. You don't add double modifier. You don't add double bonus damage from anything. You just, if you have a 1d6 plus strength mace and you crit, it's 2d6 plus strength. That's it. If for some reason, like, a critical hit with your fist now does no extra damage, because you just deal 1 damage with your fist, so a crit does not deal 2. I think they do intend all of it. I think they intend to make the game safer, especially at lower levels. At least for the players. Because the monsters will no longer hit for double damage. You know, that level 1 goblin is not going to hit for 2d4 plus 2, totaling 10 damage, one-shotting your wizard anymore. Now, I have heard a rumor that they are adding a new type of monster ability that will take the place of critical hits. My theory for this is that monsters will now have nat 20 effects. Monsters critting can add tension. So, Alex, it can. It can in certain systems, like Pathfinder, 2e, because it's built around that. In 5e, especially if you're below level 3, a crit will probably just down you. Like, if they roll high enough, you're just going down. But my theory is they're going to have natural 20 effects. It's not going to be double damage, but let's say you're fighting a cockatrice, and it rolls a natural 20. Maybe it also gets to attempt to petrify you. Maybe normally it has to choose between attacking for damage or petrifying, but if it nat 20s its attack, it gets to do both. I'm imagining something like that, like a recharge mechanic. Like a Dragon's Breath weapon would be a crit mechanic. Yeah, probably stuff like that. Stuff that if they roll a 20 will make the combat more threatening without outright doubling the damage. We got some donations coming in. Oh my god, thank you. Voice to text. That's your cue. Voice to text. British lady in my computer. Will you read? Thank you.
So cool.
J. Craw said that they are exploring creature recharge effects at higher CR that will make up for the lack of crits on creatures.
only at higher CR?
Oh, cool.
Oh, both of you, thank you.
James Crawford explanation for this is that monster has thing like fire breath. That a bigger damage that takes some time to go back online.
Okay, well that's already a thing. I mean, at least in Pathfinder and I think in 5e, if a dragon gets a critical hit, it gets its breath weapon back. But that's weird that they're only talking about higher CRs. Like, if that goblin can only deal 1d4 plus 1 damage, and a nat 20 is still 1d4 plus 1, that's going to lead to some combat. We'll have to see. Again, this is a playtest. We'll have to see as more unveils. I would be totally down for more nat 20 effects outside of double damage. What counts as higher CR? If they're talking about dragons, probably 10 plus, maybe 8 plus. Cockatrice? It's a cockatrice. It's not a cockatrice. It's not a cockatrice.
Cool.
Great content. Hope you showcase the Paizo PF2 Foundry Premium modules.
Thank you, Manuel.
That's so cool.
Thank you, Eventide.
Carcoo-trues.
Carcoo-trues. I don't know if I'll end up showing off the Paizo Foundry modules. It could be fun, because they are premium. I've heard how good they are. I don't use virtual tabletops all that often. I usually use Theater of the Mind online, and I just pray I can play in person at some point. But it could make for an interesting video. I haven't looked at them, so it could be interesting to see how good they actually are. Because I've only heard good things. I'm so used to there being text afterwards. Thank you, Cleston, for the $1. Y'all are so kind. All right. So humans, on top of getting inspiration, oh my god, these donations. Yo, what's up, Dr. TNT?
So cool.
Thank you, Blake. It's Cockeye Tris.
Oh, guys, it's Cockeye Tris. I'm sorry, I've been mispronouncing it all these years. You encounter 3 Cockeye Trisses. So skillful, extra skill proficiency, really good. Versatile, you get the skilled feat, which I think just gives you another skill proficiency. Or another first level feat of your choice. So in classic human fashion, they just start with 2 feats. Will I make a video of my first impression? Probably not. Probably not on this. There's not enough here. There's enough here to talk about, like in a forum like this with a live chat. I don't know how much I'd have to say in a video. Plus, you know, it's not my place, I guess. You know, this isn't my game. I'm fine, like, live streaming it and talking about it casually, but spending 8 hours scripting and talking about a game that I don't play all that often, I don't know. It feels wrong. Like, people are super hyped for these changes, and I'm so excited for them. Well, it gives 3 skills in the current D&D Connor. Does it give 3 in this one? Is skilled in this? Skilled. Yeah, 3 skills. No, you're right. It's still 3 skills. Wow. Wow. So humans can just casually start with 4 extra proficiencies? Oh my god. That's nuts. Exactly. It feels a bit disingenuous because I don't play the game enough. I play roughly every 2 to 3 weeks, and I've only been playing it regularly for like 6 months out of the last 2 years. It's weird, but it's also weird. Like, I'm gonna full screen this real quick just because we're talking like weird social etiquette. It's weird that I feel the need to justifying backwards, justifying that because I don't play the game enough, it's not my place to talk about it, which feels toxic. Like, it feels like I'm scared to talk about it because I don't have the right? I don't know. It's weird. Like, I hadn't thought about it until I started talking about it out loud, but, like, in my opinion, even someone who plays twice a year, they play in 1 session every 6 months, they're still a D&D player. They still play D&D. They still enjoy D&D. They would have the right to talk about D&D. It's just this weird part of my brain where I'm like, I've spent 2 years playing Pathfinder, so I know I can talk about that, but I've only played like 6 months of 5e. I shouldn't talk about it. It's weird. I don't know. Yeah, so this feels like I feel like I'm gatekeeping myself. And I don't like that. Like, if anyone else were like this, I'd be like, no, talk about it. You know, you've played 3 sessions. Cool. Talk about your experience. Talk about your thoughts. Who cares about what other people say about your lack of experience, quote unquote. It's weird that because I'm talking about myself, I feel the need to gatekeep myself. That's not healthy. We're hopefully going to play more consistently. I hope so, Tabby. I'm loving that campaign so much. You rode a shark. Oh, man. Anyone should be able to talk about anything? Not true. Not true. Not in a gatekeeping sense. You should be able to talk about anything you love, as long as it's not hurting somebody else. Freedom of speech is a scary thing. Okay, so, Ardlings are a new playable race, which I love that they're introducing something new. Ardlings are upper plane tieflings. They're not the same as Aasimar. They've been described as cousins of Aasimars, which is kind of cool. They're also furries. Yes. Anyway, so if you like playing as an animal, you know, you can pick...
That's so
Thank you, Joshua, for the $2.
You have the right hash anti-algorithm.
I have the right hash anti-algorithm. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. The internet has framed TTRPG discussion, and honestly all discussion, in such a weird way that if you don't know everything about what you're talking about, don't talk about it. Wait, are they from the Chaotic Good Angels, like the Hound Archon? Here, we'll go ahead and read through Ardlings. Ardlings are... supernal?
That's so cool.
Never yuck someone's yum just because you don't like something they do like.
Yes, supernal. Relating to the sky or the heavens. It's a synonym of celestial. Huh. Look at that. Cool. Ardlings are supernal beings who are either born of the upper planes or have one or more ancestors who originated there. Their bright souls shine with the light of immortal beings. Sounds like a superhero. Increasing vocabulary. Bum, 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 bum. The more you know. An Ardling has a head resembling that of an animal. Typically one with virtuous associations. Depending on the animal, the Ardling might also have soft fur, downy feathers, or supple... I don't like the terminology supple bare skin. Can we just say normal skin? Now you too can play Furry Jesus. The Ardling Celestial Legacy determines the animal it resembles. An Ardling gains a measure of magical power from their Celestial Legacy, as well as the ability to manifest spectral wings. An Ardling's moral and ethical outlook is self-determined, not fixed by ancestry. There are 3 legacies, which are kind of like Pathfinder heritages. Exalted. The heroic heart of Eastgard and the wondrous nature of the Beastlands. So chaotic good, lawful good, and neutral good. You don't have to be that alignment. That's just where your origins originate. Wait, Tripton, what's wrong with Ardlings? What's wrong with Furry Jesus? If you have a problem with Furry Jesus, you can leave. But yeah, so it's interesting. Ardlings at level 1 get flight. Now it's super limited. It is 1 movement of flight up to your movement speed. And you can only use it up to your proficiency mod. So like 2 per day at level 1. So effectively this is, you can fly 60 feet per day. Gotta have the race tie over furries till the beast races emerge. You know, the furries gotta have something. Like, furries have had to homebrew the heck out of things, right? Like, up to this point. Like, I guess not as much nowadays, because you've got your Leonin, your Catkin, your Loxodon, your the Harengon. People were very, very excited about the Harengon, rivaled only by the addition of boy bunnies in Final Fantasy XIV, the acclaimed MMORPG that includes all of its content in a free trial up to the first expansion, Heavensward. Yeah, Turtles. Yep. You can fly, asterisk. Alright, so your Celestial Legacy, see, this is something interesting, and I'd love to get, I'll do a poll after I say this. I'm curious to hear from chat. Celestial Legacies have suggested animals based on your choice. I almost would like those to be the only choices. Like, if you are exalted, you are one of those 4. If you are heavenly, you are one of those 4. Maybe that's just me, but that kind of limitation breeds creativity when I'm making a character. But I'm going to pull this to see. I want to hear from you guys. Do you like some limitations in character creation? Let's go with that. Yes, no. Let's go with, do you like some limitation in your character creation? I'm warning you, this is just an example of something. Like, a limitation like this. I'm not talking like only picking one class or something like that. But a limitation forcing you to make a decision that doesn't affect you mechanically, but it does affect your character. But I want to always be a cat girl. I mean, obviously homebrew exists. You don't have to follow it. But again, that's the weird thing when it comes to these rules, is nothing has to be followed. I'm just curious. It does, yeah, it does, but you didn't take into consideration that modern 5e players isn't about limitation breeding creativity. They want to be special OCs, do not steal. I think that's a very specific niche of player. They're out there. Sorry, hold on, Yuki. Let's take a pause here. Are you telling me that Pathfinder 2e players playing their Leshy with a gun, or their dog with a wand, or their cat with dual knives wearing all black are not custom OCs do not steal? Are you trying to use that as a slam on 5e? When Pathfinder 2e does the exact same thing? Think about it, like, the beast can allow to be any animal. It's interesting, yeah, like 140 votes, holy cow. Yeah, so people do like limitations. It's interesting. Like, hey, now I have a PC with a Leshy that's a gun. It's interesting. It's the kind of thing where, like, yeah, the spells are already chosen for you. I like having to deal with limitations. You know, this is the way the world works. When everything is mix and match, things lose identity. This is a very, very minor, pedantic example of what I'm talking about. But I hope I'm getting my... Yeah, limitations breed creativity. Exactly, Ray. I want to reference the Celestials on those planes, please. Rage, thank you for the $5. Interesting. I'll let that read it out. Oh yeah, I'll read the Celestial Legacy. I think this is just their cantrips and everything. Yeah.
The opening loosening of race history is a bad thing, Imo.
I don't disagree, but I also don't fully agree. It's hard that the loosening of races is both a good and a bad thing. It's a good thing because the freedom of choice and the opening to make your character be literally whatever you want, it's cool. It's what a lot of people want out of a game, especially, you know, there's a lot of people who come from a world where they feel like an outsider. They don't feel like they belong as much, so they want to play a character that reflects that. They can see themselves in it. So when all of your race choices are by the numbers exactly what they need to be, confining to the race, it can be limiting. You know, I can definitely, I'm not speaking on their behalf, but I can imagine from my own personal experiences that feeling like an outsider and being unable to make a character that feels like an outsider would feel bad. Not being able to see yourself in whatever way you view yourself in the game could feel bad for a lot of people. At the same time, however, it does suck to lose that consistency, that history, and so here's the big thing. Sure, in real life, that's not how it works. Genetics exist. Genetics are a thing. If you are this culture, this bloodline, this heritage, you are probably more likely to have bigger muscles, or be taller, or have this color skin, or whatever. But this is D&D. And D&D is not about mimicking the real world. We are literally a bunch of people playing pretend shooting fireballs at little green men stealing sardines from the basement of a fictional tavern run by a fictional gnome named Maestro Hernandez, as we attempt to get experience points to level up and throw bigger fireballs. Why does Bloodline matter? Anyway, Celestial Legacy. You are the recipient of a Celestial Legacy that grants the magical abilities. Choose a legacy from the Celestial Legacies table. Exalted Chaotic Good, Heavenly Lawful Good, or Idyllic Neutral Good planes. And that too, Master Potato. It is your designated make-believe time. So if you want things to be more strict, absolutely go for it. It is so much easier to restrict things at your table than to restrict things universally.
Creative thrives on limitation. It can bend and twist. Saying you should only draw realism is a different kind of limitations to only use these colors.
Sure, absolutely. And I'm going to expand on what I was just saying, where it is a lot easier to restrict something at your table than to restrict it universally. If your table says... I mean, honestly, this goes as far back as AD&D and OSR. If your table is humans only, cool, go for it, your table. But don't complain. Do you know how many comments I get from OSR players saying, the fact that you can play as all these stupid races is offensive. You can't, playing as a plant, playing as a dog, playing as a gnome, that's ridiculous. And I'm like, why do you care? If your table only wants to play humans, that's fine. But why should your preferences restrict everybody else's experience?
This is an inherent problem with TTRPGs being predominantly white spaces. They are overcorrecting the problems in Western fantasy.
That is its own can of worms that I will not open here today. Let's leave it at that. There's a lot there. Neither side is completely right. Everybody's wrong. Humans suck and I hate the world. Let's talk about board games. But yeah, so basically they get a cantrip at level 1. If Healing Word is as good as it is now, this is going to be insane. Wise choice. Oh, wow. They get to pick any spellcasting ability? Is that already a thing in 5e? Humans may suck, but everyone likes a suck. Wow, they can pick any spellcasting ability. That's crazy. Now that is common. Okay, that's common. Cool. Resistant to Radiant. I'm so used to Pathfinder, where it's always Charisma. Every race is floating casting. Gotcha. Since Tasha's. Okay. Ardlings of many worlds. Lore, 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 lore. I don't care about lore. I'm here to roll dice and say how much damage do I do. Looks like Dragonborn are pretty much the same. You pick a dragon. Oh, interesting. They've specifically stated that there is no, and I don't think there was earlier, there's no cross-coloration. I hadn't thought about it today. Until today. Why aren't there mix and match hues of dragons? Why doesn't a red dragon and a blue dragon make a purple dragon? Why doesn't a bronze dragon and a tin dragon, no wait, copper and tin make a bronze? I feel like there's so much unexplained or unexplored stuff here. There was cross-coloration earlier? Dragonborn's always irked you? Why's that? T-Matt says no. Pink Drong! I apologize. I'm going to turn the AC on because it is stupid hot in here, so sorry. Not sorry. Just use the half-race rules and say they are X color but have base color abilities. I'm a blue dragon who shoots fire. Because I'm quirky. Dragonborn, 30 feet. Only 80 years. They don't live any longer than humans. Huh, I didn't know that. Sure, all these. Acid, lightning, fire, lightning, acid, fire, poison, fire, cold, cold. Cool. 15-foot breath weapon, pretty standard stuff. Normal, looks like DCs are being calculated the same way as current 5e. 8 plus con plus proficiency. I am not a fan of this. Never have been. the way that spellcasting DCs in 5e get done have always left a bad taste in my mouth. And I know it's the way 5e is done. I know it's the way it's balanced. But, like, even with a good modifier, at level 1, if you, let's say you have an 18 Constitution. Oh, Henshin, you made a good point. I'll get to that after. Don't let me forget to talk about that. Even with a +4 modifier, that is still a 14 DC. Like, with no bonus, that's almost a 30% chance of avoiding it.
Puts on Patreon supporter hat from Kiasid.
Kiasid. Oh. Let's go. Oh, did you just join the Patreon? Let's go. But yeah, like, I don't know. That's one thing I like about Pathfinder a little bit is usually pretty fast. You can't just pass a DC off a dice roll. It's about a 14 DC. Yeah, I like the 10. I like the base 10. But yeah, no, Henshin makes a great point. Why are they all cones? Where's the lines? Dragons have always specifically had cone or line. That's so weird. Dragon Breath weapon used to be once per short rest. Now is, proficiency bonus number of times. That's awesome. With no cooldown. But, yeah, wait, why is it cones only? Lines are weaker anyway? Sure, but I think, like lightning is supposed to be in a line. Weird. Fizzbands had lines for chromatics? Yeah. Weird. Damage resistance, equal to your damage type. Dark vision, 60 feet, which apparently they didn't have before, which is hilarious. Speak, read, and write Draconic. Nice. Whoa. Alien Assassin. I'll let that read out. Dragonborn of Many Worlds. So are these talking about the races of other worlds? The dragon-ruled continent of Arganessen on Eberron has dragonborn cities tucked among its mountain ranges. On other worlds... Huh. Okay, so this is just lore. Apparently it's not going to read this out. I think we can all agree that D&D or Pathfinder races need to feel unique. Like, I want Pratchett dwarves where gender is fake and beards are aplenty. Yeah, I mean, they should definitely feel unique. But what that means is different from person to person. To a lot of people, this is unique enough. You know, Dragonborn get a breath weapon. Humans get more skill proficiencies. Ardlings are furries. You know, that's all that's all unique enough. Whereas some people need that PF2 level of diversity where, you know, your elf is this heritage with this feat, which makes them different from that elf with that heritage with that feat. And both are completely valid definitions of unique, you know? Did they get rid of low-light vision? They might have. I don't see low-light vision anywhere so far. Dwarves, all medium, all dark vision, resistance to poison, advantage against poison condition, more hit points. That's good. Even though dwarves don't get a bonus to con anymore, they still get a bonus to hit points. I like that. Low-light was never in 5e? Gotcha. Forge-wise. Your Divine Creator gave you an uncanny affinity for working with stone or metal. You gain tool proficiency with either jewelers, masons, smiths, or tinkers. Those are all different tool sets? Nice. Okay. And Tremor Sense? Yo! All dwarves have Tremor Sense, but you have to activate it. That's so cool. I like that a lot. For 10 minutes. That's awesome. You're walking through a freaking, walking through a casual, tunnel. That's great. Cool. Alright, elves. What'd they give our elves? 750-year lifespan, casual. Dark vision. Elven lineage. Choose an elven lineage. Okay, so elves sort of have heritages, like PF2, I guess. So they kept the elven sub-races, but not the other ones, like hill dwarves and stuff. Huh. You gain the first level benefit of that lineage. At 3rd and 5th, you get to cast a spell. Once per day, once per long rest, okay. You have advantage on saving throws against Charmed. They don't have advantage against sleep saves? Wait. Don't elves get advantage against sleep effects? Like, they still don't need to sleep. Did they not have that in 5e? No, it's not in the trance. Oh, and magic can't put you to... Just can't? I was looking for advantage. Was that in 5e? They were immune in 5e too? Okay. I don't think they're immune in 2e. That's nuts. That's insane. Alright. Again, this is where my lack of knowledge of 5e absolutely comes into play. I don't know a lot of this stuff off the top of my head. Interesting. So Drow get double dark vision range and dancing lights. High elves get prestidigitation. Oh, okay. Or just any cantrip they want every day. And wood elves get druid craft, but they're faster. I like that. I think that's really cool. Wood elves would probably be faster in the woods and stuff. Long striders, they're just all about moving quick. High elves detect magic, misty step, drow, fairy fire, darkness. All right, cool. Elf lore. All right, our gnomes. Can they live up? We're gonna go through the lore here. I want to see if 5e can live up to any of Pathfinder 2e's lore. Nyrufa, no, I don't remember that. I did not know drows could ever do that. Wait, why do drow get a light? Why do drow get a light spell? Wait, why would drow need to use dancing lights? I don't... Weird. Like, darkness makes sense. Even fairy fire makes sense. Oh, it's Trixie? Always had dancing lights? Weird. That's really weird. Alright. Drow dancing lights are deep lore. Really? Oh, cool. Alright, gnomes. We're going through the lore. Gnomes are magical folk. Actually, you know what? No. I need more wine. Share stream! Don't leave. I'm over here getting wine. Because I need more wine, because I'm having fun, and I enjoy talking to all of you while getting tipsy. It's great. Alright. On my way back. Honestly, I have not checked the view count this entire time, but I did casually notice that the poll got 270 votes. So, like, y'all have apparently just been killing it. Chair stream. Yo, Creative, thank you for another $9.99. Creative, you're being so generous today. Work should be picking up soon, so I just meant this. Classes will, accordingly to James Crawford, have their own spell list plus the spell list? I thought, we'll get to that later. I'm pretty sure they mentioned that they're only getting the spell list.
That's so cool.
Drow have dancing lights because dark vision lets you see in darkness as if it was dim light, which still gives disadvantage on any sight-based check.
Really? That seems so weird, because you'd think literally generations born and raised underground would have adapted full on. Like, is there greater dark vision in 5e? Is that a thing? Interesting. All right. Gnomes are magical folk created. Oh my god, Joseph!
So cool.
Cheers!
Wine up.
Wine up to you as well. Cheers, everybody, and the girlfriend's home.
The girlfriend's home, and the dog so hates it.
We're looking at new D&D. All right. Gnomes. Gnomes are magical folk created by gods of hard work, invention, trickery, and life underground. Earliest gnomes were seldom seen by other folk, yada, yada, yada. What they lacked in size, they made up for in countless donations that kept cutting off the streamer. Thank you. I appreciate y'all so much. They confounded predators with elaborate traps and low, narrow, labyrinthine tunnels. They also learned useful magic from gods. Oh.
Oh,
Wait, so are the gnomes not from the Feywild?
is that true?
I thought the gnomes were from the Feywild. Hi, dog.
Is that true?
No, they've never been from the Feywild. Oh, interesting. I've been getting my games completely mixed up. Back in the day, information made it impossible to read. Gotcha. No. Interesting. I learned a lot today. Gnomes are petite folks with big eyes, pointed ears, and wistful imaginations, harkening back to a time when their ancestors hid in tunnels and under thick forest canopies. Many gnomes like the feeling of a roof over their head, even if that roof is nothing more than a hat. That's really
so
cute. That's really cute. It has nothing on Pathfinder gnomes, but it's cute. What do they get? They get dark vision. They live 400 years. Sorry. Is this in 5e?
What?
Chat, is this in 5e? That's not in 5e, is it? It is? No. Yes, 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 yes? No, hold on. I need to double check that. There's no way gnomes have that. My girlfriend plays a gnome.
Wait, have what?
Advantage on all intelligence, charisma, and wisdom saving throws.
No.
But only against magic? Yeah, this is on all saves for gnomish cunning. Okay, so gnomes had it specifically against magic. Yeah, in 5e, it's the same thing, but just against magic. This is all of them? Any mental saving throw? That's insane! What the hell? I mean, yeah, 90% of the time it's still going to be magic, so even in 5e, that's crazy. God, gnomes, have you been using that, babe?
Probably not.
You've been playing that campaign for 2 years!
Yeah, no.
Oh, man. Gnomish lineage. You are part of a lineage that grants you supernatural abilities. It's weird that they kept some lineages and removed others. Like, they removed different types of dwarves, but they still have different types of elves, tieflings, ardlings, and gnomes. It's strange to me. I imagine this will get eroded to magic only. This is insane. So, forest gnomes get minor illusion. And can just cast speak with animals? Just for being a forest gnome? Man. I know gnomes can usually talk to, like, rodents, but that's just all animals. My god. What dwarves did they remove? All of them. There's no more hill dwarves or mountain dwarves. There's just dwarves. You're just a dwarf now. Most enemies will no longer have spells in this edition. Sorry, Peter. It's not an edition. It's just D&D.
Wow. How many times have you said that?
That's the first time I've like said it jokingly. Rock gnomes get mending and prestidigitation. You can... Whoa, 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 what? Oh my god, rock gnomes. All right. You can spend 10 minutes casting prestidigitation to create a tiny clockwork device, such as a toy, music box, or fire starter. Casting the spell this way consumes 10 gold worth of materials, which you provide during the casting. When you create the device, you determine its function by choosing an effect of prestidigitation. And that effect occurs whenever you or another creature touch the device and activate it. Each one only lasts 8 hours. After it wears off, you can dismantle it and get the materials. Okay, so basically rock gnomes can cast delayed prestidigitation.
Can I right now?
What?
I'm a rock gnome.
No, you can't. This is a lot. No. 99 times out of 100, let me tell you how this is going to be used. The gnome is going to create 3 little buttons that, when pressed, wash your clothes. He's going to make 3 of those before they go into a swamp. The party will trudge through the swamp. After leaving the swamp, they will all press the button and clean their clothes. The end. Or you can make a fart sound button. That's true, too.
Hell yeah.
Interesting. So this isn't. I don't think this is going to be the normal formatting of the official release. This is their standard Unearthed Arcana playtest formatting. See you later, Eventide. Have a good one. Oh man. All right, halflings, my boys. 30 foot speed. 100 halflings live 150 years. Nice. Are halflings inherently brave?
No.
Do they have that in 5e?
I haven't been able to have.
Not 2e, 5e. Halflings, 5e. Yeah, they have that in 5e too? Halfling is identical, yeah. Weird. Of all the things for a halfling, I wouldn't expect brave. Lucky, sure. This is identical? They've had... Wow, I didn't realize how broken halflings were, even in OG 5e. This is the same as original 5e. You could just re-roll ones. That's nuts.
Every time?
Every time.
Wow. Why am I not playing halfling?
I don't know. Proficiency in stealth. Can move through medium creatures. Interesting. When you're that small, you have to be brave. Fair. Orcs, finally playable. That makes a lot of people happy. Orcs are actually an official race in D&D. Orcs can take the... Okay, so this is limited per day, but you can dash as a bonus action. Does dash let you move, or does it increase how much you move? Okay, dashing just increases your speed. It doesn't... Right? Yeah, orcs are going to be a core race. Orcs were in Volos? Okay. Okay, so dash doubles your speed. Yeah, so dash... This is not letting you move as a bonus action. It is letting you increase your speed as a bonus action, and if you move, you get to move twice as fast. What do you mean there's no move action in D&D, Connor? There's a move action and attack action, or a standard action every turn. Dash is what is another stride action equivalent? What? Dash doubles your speed, yes. But what I'm saying... Wait, what? There is a move in D&D. What? I'm getting... Movement is free in D&D? No, it's not. Dash is just moving.
That's so cool.
You're my favorite 2E creator.
Oh, thank you,
Mr.
Mr.
It's nice to see a 2E creator not talk like 5E is inherently inferior in every capacity. You rock. Keep on keeping on.
Thank you so much, 8-Bit Mr. Viss. That's really nice. Yeah, I try to be a positive force in the space, you know? It's its own action, right. There's no... Wait, why are people saying there's no move action in 5e? You can move up to your speed. I guess it's not just an action, but you can move... It's considered an action. Yeah, moving, you can move 5 feet per square up to your movement speed. It doesn't all have to be at once, but you're still moving. It's not an action, but it's an action. That's the only thing that's made sense so far. But yeah, this doubles your movement speed for the turn. It does not make you move. You don't have to move with this. And then you get 10 hit points. That's... What a weird... Of all the things to cause chat, like, exploding right now, I did not think it would be move actions or not actions. Yeah, I know you can move multiple times. Let me read. What does the attack of opportunity wording say? Not 2E. I'm just muscle memory. I type 2E. My God. When it moves. So sorry, it's not a move action. You just move. You're not taking an action or anything. Oh my God. Yeah, it's a move action. It's not like you get one, but it's an action. Dark vision. You count as one size larger when determining carrying capacity as well as push, drag, and lift. That's an interesting trait. I don't know how I feel about it. And of course, orc ferocity. Why is this the go-to orc thing? Like, it's not like Pathfinder didn't invent this. Just orcs, if they would go down, stay at 1 hit point. Why is that an orc thing? Alien assassin. I'll let that one get right out. Because funny never die. Oh my God. Alien, I think it... Yeah, that's so it censors you. It censors your messages, Alien Assassin, because your username has assassin in it. And that's 2 swears.
That is 2 swears.
That's so stupid.
That says butt button.
It says butt and butt. Sin. Butt, and sin? That's just full of bannable content. Yeah, no, it's way too strict on its censoring, Alien. Like, it's worrisome because I'm on the lightest level. There's 4 levels of censor, and I'm on the first. Like, I could turn it off, but then I've always been worried about people getting something into voice to text that could get me in trouble. But, like, I'm on the most minor level of text censoring, and I can't believe it censors assassin. Hi, Salami. It's interesting, honestly, Salami. There's a lot of stuff that they've, like, written in that is similar to 2E and something straight out of 2E, which I think is awesome. Tieflings also get sub-races. They get dark vision. Most notably, Tieflings don't have Hellish Rebuke. Did y'all notice that? That Tieflings lost Hellish Rebuke. It's a 3rd level for Infernal, but that's it. It's only for some Tieflings at level 3. Like, wasn't it all Tieflings got that at level 1 before?
That's so cool.
Alien can change name to Alien. Caboose. Caboose. In.
Caboose. Caboose in. PHB Tiefling was Infernal. Other ones are new. Okay. It was level 3 in 5e? Okay. I always thought this was, okay. But yeah, Abyssal gets Poison Spray. Chthonic gets Chill Touch. Basically, Poison, Cold, and Fire Tieflings. Ray of Sickness, Hold Person. They just get Hold Person. That's power. Hold Person is so strong in 5e. Alright. Let's talk backgrounds. So, by default, you can either build a background, select a pre-made background, or select a pre-made background for the sample background section and then customize it. Wait. This seems unnecessary. I understand build a background. I understand select a pre-made background. But what's the point of select a pre-made background and then customize it? Like, there's only like 4 choices to be made anyway. But yeah, your background is where your ability score increases, +2 and +1. It's where your skill proficiencies are, 1 tool proficiency. I do like that every character is getting a tool proficiency. I don't remember if that's how it was in 5e. I do miss tools. Honestly, that is something I'm finding in Pathfinder that I miss from 5e. Is tools. I miss tool proficiency. In Pathfinder, they're just lumped into medicine as healer's tools, thievery is thieves' tools, and that's about it. I really like tool proficiencies being separate, especially for things like gambling sets and whatnot. And then a language. Tools do nothing in 5e, though. Not if you roleplay correctly. Sorry, that was really rude.
It was really rude. Take your wine away.
Oh, no, keep that in. Keep that in. Don't edit that out in post. Harsh. Rude, but correct. Yeah, everyone gets 50. So this is something that I liked about 5e, and I kind of, again, mechanically I get it. Lore-wise, I don't like it. I liked that in 5e, different classes started with different amounts of money. A fighter would probably have more money than a monk. You know, a rogue would have way more money than a druid. Why does a druid have money anyway?
I have no idea.
My level 5 halfling barbarian is really, really good at using a shovel. So that's not what a tool is. That's not what a tool is. You're watching a tool. Wait. So this is choose one tool, but I think a tool technically is more like a tool kit. Like yeah, thieves' tools, musical instruments, healer's tools, a gambling kit. They're more than just a shuffle. Exactly, like a whole smithing kit. Like, you would be proficient with the hammers and clamps and everything that goes into a smithing kit. Yeah. I'm surprised this doesn't say one tool kit. It just says one tool. But still. Wait, why are you taking my wine? This is literally only halfway through my second class.
I'm proud of you.
And then a first level feat, which I'm really excited to read those. I'm really excited to see what those do. I subbed to message. Dash allows you to use your move as an action. This means that the orc is doing it as a bonus action. Right. Yeah. Well, technically you can move up to... If you're an orc and you dash as a bonus action, that means you have 60 feet of movement. You can technically move 12 times per turn. Just 5-foot step, attack. 5-foot step, perception check. 5-foot step, perception check. Pathfinder does have artisan tools, but they're not a separate proficiency. Anyway. Sample backgrounds. We're not going to need to look too much into these, like wisdom, intelligence on acolyte, proficiency in insight, religion. Although I do want to see the tools. So calligraphy kit, artisan's tools, disguise kit, forgery kit, musical instrument, traveler. I was about to say traveler's clothes. Gaming set for the guard, carpenter's tools for the farmer. Yeah, these are what we're talking about. All the different tools. Wait. Okay, yeah. Why does the guide speak giant? It's a weird pre-made. Anyway. I would not call it a bad attempt at copying PF2. I would call it a PF2 inspired, pretty heavily inspired. But again, I said this at the beginning of the stream, that is not inherently a bad thing. If another system does something better than you, there's not really people will shame you for it. I don't think there's any shame in adding that to your system. Like, that's why they're getting rid of class spell lists and introducing Arcane, Primal, and Divine. Like, that's just it. It's better. It's just better. They're not going to keep things worse just because someone else did it first. By that logic, if I did it first, if I covered PF2 on YouTube first, by that logic, nobody else should talk about PF2 on YouTube, because I already did it. You know? Like, by that logic, there should only be one YouTube channel for anything, because they did it first. Anyway. Starting languages, blah, 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 blah. Let's talk feats. Let's look at feats, some of the new changes, and then we'll be done. Alright. Alert. So this one's weird. I don't exactly know how it works, like thematically, but mechanically it's cool. When you roll initiative, you get to add proficiency. And once you roll initiative, you can swap your roll with any willing ally, which is weird. Stealing from PF2, go back and look at the reception PF2 got when it came out. Yeah, honestly. So again, I live my life knowing nothing is original. With nothing original, you can't reinvent the wheel every time you do something. If something works, use it. You know? I use OBS for my streaming software because it's the best one. Just because a bunch of other YouTubers do too, doesn't mean I'm stealing from them. It means I'm learning from them. But yeah, alert being able to swap initiative is awesome. If you're playing a cleric and you roll a 20 and you want to swap with your fighter who rolled a 1, that's nuts. Crafter. A lot of people are like, this could be amazing or useless, depending on if One D&D has crafting rules. You gain tool proficiency with 3 different artisan tools. Whenever you buy a non-magical item, you get a 20% discount. Whenever you craft an item, you craft it 20% faster. Will this matter? Are we going to get actual prices on magic items? Are we going to get actual time it takes to craft stuff? If so, this is awesome. If I can look at a healing potion and say this takes 8 hours to craft, and I can craft it in 6.5, whatever, that's cool. Now, if the rulebook says, here's a healing potion, crafting it should take between 1 day and 1 week, and it should cost between 10 and 100 gold pieces. This is useless. Healer. I've heard this is worse battle medicine. If you have a healer's kit, you can expend a use to tend to a creature within 5 feet. It can expend a hit die and gain those hit points plus proficiency bonus. So, I guess depending on the target, this could be better. Technically better. Like, if you use this on a barbarian, they get 1d12 plus 2 hit points back. The downside is it's your full standard action, whereas in 2e it's 1 out of 3 actions. Healing rerolls is nuts. My worry, so here's my worry. If things continue as they're going, not 5e, 1D&D is going to have a serious balance issue. Because there are going to be so many best in slots. Healing rerolls. If you are playing a cleric and you don't take healing rerolls, you're just worse at healing than every other cleric who did. Reroll all... with all spells, reroll 1s. Reroll all 1s on healing spells forever. If you heal 8d10 and you roll 3 1s, cool. Reroll all of them. That isn't inconsistent for organized play. Ugh. So we'll see. This is just the best feat for healers. Lucky. Has this been changed? You have a number of luck points equal to proficiency regained on long rest. You can spend a luck point to gain advantage, or spend a luck point to impose disadvantage. That's really strong. That's really... The fact that you can do it... I wish it was clear whether you could do this if it has to be done before or after the enemy rolls. Because if it's after the enemy rolls, that's nuts. Like, if you can see they rolled an 18 and then use lucky to give them disadvantage, that's really good. Like, it's almost busted. But if you have to call it before the DM rolls, that's a little bit better. Before? Yeah, I imagine it's before. Magic Initiate, you gain 2 cantrips. That's the same as it was from either the Arcane, Divine, or Primal spell list. You also get a first level spell. Wow. You can just take that as a fighter? You get to choose your spellcasting? Wow! Holy cow! You can just casually take this and be like a paladin with fear or something. That's amazing. That's really, really good. It's the same as it is in normal 5e. That's awesome. But normal 5e, you don't get a feat till level 5, right? But I thought, like, in normal 5e, you don't get a feat until 5th level, right? You don't get a feat at level 1. Musician. Tool proficiency with 3 musical instruments. Level 4. Okay. Yeah, that's the difference. Is in normal 5e, you can only get this at level 4, I guess, unless you're a human. But now, getting a first level spell at level 1 as a non-spellcaster, that's crazy. Inspiring... As you finish a short rest, you can play a song on a musical instrument and give inspiration to allies up to your proficiency bonus. Okay. They're really pushing inspiration. A lot of people are liking that it's pushing teamwork. My worry, that's very evident so far, is that teamwork is give your allies advantage. If that's where teamwork ends, I'm going to be a little upset. Like, obviously, no, never mind. Not even disadvantage on lucky isn't even teamwork. That's only against you, not your ally. If inspiration's not that, I mean, it's the same as it is now. It's just easier to get. This is going to be interesting. Savage Attacker. When you attack and hit with a weapon as part of the action, you can roll the damage die twice. So this is just the mandatory feat for all fighters and barbarians. Like,
That's so cool.
All of these feats can be tied to backgrounds, so could be taken at level 1, though your ASI feats start at 4.
yeah, okay. Wait, that's bad? No, this is insane. Like, rerolling damage is great. Reroll a 1? You don't even have to. Like, you might as well. And you get to choose. You get to choose. If you have a D12 Great Axe or whatever, and you get to choose, yeah, sure, once per turn. It's a level 1 feat. Something variable like a Great Axe. This level 1 feat can lead you... This can give you plus 10 damage. If you roll a 1 and then roll an 11 on your Great Axe, that's plus 10 damage. Every turn. Yeah, every single turn. That's insane. I don't know why people are calling this trash. Sure, if you're using a D4 dagger, it's bad. Yeah. But if you're using a D8 or higher, that's amazing. Alright, skilled. 3 skill proficiencies. Alright, everyone loves Tavern Brawler. Your fist, instead of being 1 damage, becomes 1d4 plus strength. Whenever you roll a damage die, reroll 1. That's insane. But you must use the new roll. Okay. When you hit a creature, you can push it for free. Oh, this is Weapon Improviser. So you can just pick up a great club or a club. Wild. That's really good. That's really strong. How'd they nerf it? I don't think they nerfed it. I don't know if it's anything like it used to be, but it's pretty good. Your fists are now daggers. You can re-roll ones, which, again, like we just talked about, on a D4, it's not that great. 25% of the time, it's not going to do anything. The free shove is good. The free shove is amazing. Like, even as you get multiple attacks, you can, like, punch, shove. That's really good. But, again, it's not as good in 5e because movement and attack actions are separate. Monks re-rolling ones? True. Oh my god, if monks scale the same way. Once again, this is what I was just talking about. Best in slot feats. Best in slot is not good. A lot of people will look at this and be like, yes, this is perfect on my monk. And yeah, if you're playing a monk and you want to be a good monk, you take this feat. This is the monk feat. This is the barbarian feat. This is kind of the bard feat. This is anybody's feat. This is really good. This is the healer feat. Yeah. And I feel like a well-designed RPG, which I think Pathfinder's doing a great job of it, no feat is the class feat, aside from their class feats. But you know what I mean? Like, all of the fighters level 1 feats are equally appealing depending on your playstyle. And, like, there's no one perfect feat for a class. Rerolls cost inspiration. That's not as good as rolling advantage. That would never get used. It would be useless. Tough is the wizard feat. No, because if you're playing your wizard right, you're not getting hit. But that's everything. And then tough, yeah. 2 hit points per level. Not bad. So, what else is new? I don't think there's much else new. Arcane spells. Bards are officially arcane in D&D. I don't think we're going to see an occult spell list. I think it's different. Artisan's tools, creature types, D20 tests. Checks, attack rolls, and saving throws now have an all-encompassing term. Honestly, about time. I had been calling everything checks, which got confusing with, multiple times playing Pathfinder, we've had to wonder, is an attack roll a check? And it's not. Is it? Again, I don't even remember in Pathfinder. But in D&D, it's nice to know that all checks are tests, but not all tests are checks. Like, an attack roll is not a check. If an ability gives you +1 to all D20 tests, it affects everything. If it only gives you a bonus to ability checks, it's only to checks. Kind of used to bars being a cult, being in the arcade is weird, right? Same. Rolling a 1 automatically fails. That's the same. Rolling a 20 automatically succeeds. And grants an inspiration. If you roll a 20 on any test, which again, we've learned, a test is any D20 roll. Except for, like, random little ones that don't really mean anything. If you roll nature to make tea in the morning for your party, and you get a 20, you get inspiration. If you roll a 20, talking the merchant into giving you a 5 silver discount, you get inspiration. I worry it's going to be abused. I'm really worried this is going to get abused, and GMs are going to deal with certain players who want to roll skills every 5 seconds to get inspiration. Are druids divine again? No, they're primal. They are primal. Druids are primal. Divine spells. There is a... Where's P? Primal spells. Druids and rangers are primal. Can I roll to fart? Inspiration. Critical hits, we talked about this earlier. Critical hits are only for players now. No monsters or NPCs. Divine spells, gaming set. Grappled has been buffed. While grappled, your speed is 0. You have disadvantage on attack rolls against any target other than the grappler. The grappler can drag or carry you, but they count as slowed. And you can roll dex or strength save to escape. I'm glad there's rules for grappling, and they're useful. Incapacitated, you can't take actions or reactions, your concentration is broken, you can't speak. If you are incapacitated while rolling initiative, you have disadvantage. I feel like this should be, if you're incapacitated, you go last. What? Oh man, Derek's on the ground. He has disadvantage, but he rolled 2 20s. So now he goes first. He's unconscious. But he's so inspiring. He rolled a 20. Give him inspiration. Oh man. Wait, yeah, what if you roll a nat 20 on a death save? Do you get inspiration? Oh man. D20 test. Only one at a time. You can only have, that's how they're balancing it. You can only have 1 instance of inspiration. When your party is so zoned out, the guy in the coma goes first. It goes away on, that's a big thing. It goes away on long rest. You can only have 1 and it goes away, so you don't want to stockpile it. It feels like if it goes this way, 1 D&D is going to be like 1/3 of all rolls are going to be advantage. Except for the rolls that are just gaining advantage. Long period of rest, benefits of the rest, same as it is in 5e. Interruption, musical instrument. Slowed condition is new. I hate this. Just say your movement speed is halved. Just say your movement speed is halved. Why do you have to word it? Spend 1 extra foot of movement for every foot you move. Just say you have movement speed. If you move 5 feet, it costs 10 feet. Because it's only when you move while grappled or slowed from spells. Attack rolls against you have advantage, which is nice. So grappled really has a big thing. No, wait, no, that's different. Disadvantage on dex saves. Mathfinder, more like Mathins and Dragons. Because it stacks with difficult terrain, I guess. Tool proficiency, tremor sense, unarmed strikes, spell lists. As you can see, yeah, arcane, divine, primal. They're not class spell lists anymore, which I'm so here for. And that's it. That's the playtest. It's not a whole lot to go on, but I'm interested to see where it goes. Read the unarmed strikes. Okay, I'll read the unarmed strikes real quick. Bludgeoning damage. Oh, it does add strength mod to unarmed strikes. Okay, I thought it was just 1. Yep, grappling is just an unarmed strike against their armor class. That's something that's weird to me. Grappling is against armor class. I don't like that. Like, if you hit with an unarmed strike, they're grappled. You choose to deal no damage, but you grapple them. Whereas athletics has nothing to do with grappling. It's an attack roll to grapple, and then a strength or dex save to escape. And you can also shove as an attack action. Yeah, with armor, yeah, like grappling someone in full plate would be easier. Yeah. Like, I don't like this. I don't like this being an attack action. It also gives athletics even less to worry about. Like, athletics does nothing now. It helps you jump. So, I don't know. Is Eldritch Blast a cantrip? I don't see it. It's probably going to be a class feature. That's one thing I'm really excited for, and I'll definitely do another one of these streams when we get it, is if we get a 1 D&D classes playtest. That'll be interesting. But for now, that's it. I'm going to go eat some dinner. Thank you to everyone who hung out, everyone who donated. This was wild. We're chilling here at the end with freaking 340 of you in chat, you mad lads. Thank you, everyone. I will try to enjoy my dinner. We don't have much to eat. I need to go shopping. But thanks, y'all. I'm going to go play some Jackbox with some friends, and I hope you all take it easy. Peace out. Also, don't be rude on the internet. Be courteous. Even if something looks like it was taken from PF2, There's no reason to say it. Let people enjoy things. Let people enjoy the game, their favorite game, getting updates. Don't be dicks. Thank you, Ty, for the $5 for dinner!